How old are you now?
41.
You've never been married.
Nope. With online dating, I realized there was a lot of people that were not ready.
Have you ever felt behind?
If God wants that for us, he'll do it.
There could be that temptation to start lowering your standards.
I do want to honor him even before I know him.
Is there something that he can do when he's trying to have these conversations online?
It's in the profile.
Welcome to Upside Down Influencer, where we talk about the things we see on social media and how we as Christ followers can do them differently. I'm your host, Jessica Johnson. Today, we have a very special guest, my good friend, Kelly Saxton. Kelly is one of the most energetic, outgoing, and creative people that I know. But something that's very powerful about Kelly and her story is that she is 41 years old. She's never been married, but she desires marriage and she desires children. I've always just been blown away by her steadfastness, and I just thought she was the perfect person to speak on this topic. Here's my conversation with my good friend, Kelly Saxton. Well, Kelly, welcome to Upside Down Influencer.
Thanks for having me.
Kelly is special to me for many reasons. She's I feel like I would consider her one of my first friends when I moved to Jacksonville.
Yeah.
But also she's just been through many life seasons. Like, she not only has been helping us. I mean, we haven't bought yet, but she's like our realtor. Yeah. She's my doula. I've lived with her at one point in my life. Like, she's just served me so well in so many seasons.
I'm your cheerleader, Jess.
So it's an honor to have you on.
Thank you.
Go ahead and tell us a little about yourself.
Yeah. So we met in 2017 when I moved here to Jax, and we started serving after the hurricane. So we got to meet each other then, and since then I've kind of bounced around the area. I feel like a bridge kind of here, that I connect people and I connect ministries and I connect people to ministries and things like that. And I'm a realtor, so I get to talk to a lot of people and be involved in community, and that's kind of like my focus is always kind of being in community, enjoying getting to know people, and just exploring and adventuring in our city.
I would say you are one of the most adventurous people that I know. Kelly, okay, what's really funny about Kelly is that she's lived a million lives. She'll be like teaching cycling on the weekends, and then, she might be, I don't know, she doesn't rock climb, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like, she's just one of those people that just does
I flipped around in the park last week, and everybody was like, where did that come from?
Oh, yeah. Like, she's like, oh, yeah, I do gymnastics. And then I also am a real estate agent, but I also, like, there's just
birthing doula. I mean, that's out of nowhere, right? Who does that?
She's a true
love coffee shops.
A true jack of all trades, and it's so much fun. Well, it's so strange having this conversation because I admire this about you, but I also know this is also a conversation that maybe might bring up some past hurts or things like that, or something that actually has been something hard for you. So if I ever say something that you're like, maybe that wasn't worded the best way, please let me know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I have you on today because I think there's a lot of people that can relate to your story. There's a lot of people that are young and looking for somebody, or there might be people that are, in their 30s and still looking for somebody. Yeah. And I just admire your steadfastness in your singleness. And you might not feel like you have been at times, but how old are you now?
41.
And when is the last time you, if ever, were in like any sort of like serious relationship?
Probably about 2 years ago.
Okay. And how long did that last?
Not very long.
Okay. So how long is not very long?
A couple months.
A couple of months. Okay. Yeah. So before that, there hasn't been, from what I understand, a period of like, you've never been married.
Nope.
And so you were just one of the people that I know that have technically been single the longest. Mm-hmm. And I know for a lot of people, a couple of years might go by and they're like, where is my person? Yeah. What is God doing? Yeah. And additionally, you're single in a very interesting time in our society where, online dating is a huge thing. And additionally, the holidays are coming up.
Yeah.
And I know that can be a really hard time for a lot of people who feel like, I don't have anyone to bring to this party.
Yeah.
Or they see on social media, they see the engagements, they see the baby announcements. And over time, that could probably really wear on somebody.
Yeah.
And, I did meet my husband at, I think I was 24 technically when I met Jack. And so I don't actually have a lot of experience in this area, and you do.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it.
Yeah. Well, I feel like for me, I've been single so long, and honestly, yes, I've dated, and I don't necessarily feel like anybody's taken me off the market. So I would kind of say I've been single for a really long time.
Yes.
And I mean, that all starts from a point when I had a car accident and I was not comfortable in my own skin. So that took me a while before I was even ready to explore dating. So I know that was a season that...
How long would you say? Because how old were you?
I was 20.
Okay. And so how long would you say it even crossed your mind? Like how many?
Till I was like in my later 20s.
Okay.
It took many years for me, one, to be comfortable in my physical, but also just comfortable as who I was, because it was a traumatic time.
Yeah.
So I know that for a while I was just not even interested.
Yeah.
I really dug into who I was in the Lord and my relationship with him. So I would say now that even more gives me comfort.
Yeah.
And just recently I've realized I put a word to it. I've had a password with the Lord for many years. And he utilizes that password for me in times where I feel uncomfortable in my singleness.
What can you explain what that means to have a password?
Yeah, it's something that I've never spoken out loud because I know the enemy can hear that. And it's something between me and the Lord that he knows it's a verse and a number, basically. And when it comes up, it immediately gives me peace.
So are you saying whenever you see this thing appear, you know that like...
It's a little wink from God.
It's a little wink from God.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And I just gave it the word password because I just feel like now that makes sense to me. Everybody has a password for things that are private, right?
Yeah.
So it's my way of, I know this and the Lord knows it. And we've had conversation. I mean, I've had conversation and I feel like he's confirmed it for me in small ways and big ways. And it's just allowed me to go through life a little easier and knowing he's been faithful in showing up. And the conversation getting to that, it was not just like, is this my person? Like, and the password comes up. It's more or less like, you're not going to be alone forever. It's that
good.
reminder.
That's good.
That he's there, he's present, and he is the love of my life right now. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. I mean, how has dating changed since your 20s?
Awful. Everybody was available in my 20s. Like, everybody was a possibility. Now it's the pool has gotten smaller, and it's more or less everybody has their own pain that they're walking through, and not everybody processes that pain. And that is also one of those things that, like, we all live life and we all have bags to bring to a relationship.
Yeah.
And with online dating, I realized there was a lot of people that were not ready to really commit to anything. And I feel like you have to commit to somebody to be able to walk into a serious relationship. So I feel like that affects a lot of the dating world.
And that brings up the next question, which is, what's been your experience with online dating apps as a Christian woman? What are some of the things that you've discovered?
It's hard. I mean, it's one of those things that it like fills a void of like just wanting to feel wanted or loved or like needed by somebody. But for me, it's the recognition that everybody's in a different place in their life. Like they can say they're a Christian, but they might not be the kind of Christian that I need. I need a strong man that loves the Lord and that's leaning in And not everybody's doing that.
How do you weed that out? You know, because anybody could throw a Bible verse in their stuff, but it's like, I feel like if somebody put surrendered to Jesus on their profile, I feel like there's certain lingo almost that you can use that's like, I think this person's a little more bought in than this other person.
Yeah.
I don't know. How do you...
It's hard because it's not my position to judge them either.
Yeah.
Right?
You don't really know until you meet them how in they really are.
Or have conversation.
Yeah.
I think the thing is like, it's hard because yes, you don't want to judge them on where they're at. And I want somebody that's actively involved in the church and actively walking with the Lord. And a lot of people say that. And they're like, oh, I'll do that for my person. And I'm like, yeah, but I don't want to be the reason. I want it to be a little bit deeper than that. So it's really hard to weed it out. And it's really hard but I don't know. I guess you'd have to go to the spiritual sense of it and being like, you'll know them by their fruit. And when they start a conversation about getting like physical, I already know, like, you are not trying to get to know me for who I am. You're trying to get to know who I am that can provide for you in other ways. So it feels a little bit lessening of a person. Like, it's like, I'm sorry, like, I really want to be known, like, in other ways. So it's just hard. I mean, you really have to base it off of conversation. This is a funny conversation, is I was catfished. And it's terrifying. Like,
oh, I feel like I remember that.
I didn't even think of that until right now. Yeah, I had somebody that genuine, super genuine and caring. And unfortunately, it was just bad timing. My cousin just passed away. And I was not able to meet them or like really talk on the phone much because I was with my family. I was mourning my cousin. And it would just hit me at a bad time that like this person was becoming a connect, like a soft place for me to talk to somebody and come to find out that he wasn't who he said he was. And I will tell you, it was the Lord that brought that to me. His pictures were someone different than who he was. And then by the end, when I was really bringing this out, I was like, so who is this? I found the actual person that he was using their photos, and I contacted them because they were married. And and he's like, yeah, that's not me. I was like, okay, well, that's fun. So it was just a conversation of like, okay. And not everybody has that wisdom or discernment, you know, like I am very prayerful. Like I'm always trying to ask the Lord for help in that. And he did. He gave me the answer of who this person really was. And later he contacted me again, and it was so awkward because he was an old man.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was scary. Like it was like, he said, my name is the same.
Was he able to contact
I haven't
you
lied to you.
because he had your phone number?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's probably the scary kind of awkward.
And for people who don't
dating.
know you kind of described it, what catfishing is. It's when somebody pretends to be somebody else. Yeah. Right. Online.
And he wasn't asking me for money. Like you can kind of gauge that. But yeah, it was more emotional.
And that's probably super common.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Absolutely.
And how would you contrast, because, these were some of your dating app experiences. Now, what about dating in the real world? Would you say that comes with its own set of challenges?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would say.
What's harder?
I don't know.
Just hard in different ways.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm the last person I was really talking to and getting to know was somebody I met at the gym.
Okay.
And it felt so natural, and like he can tell me all the things that he is, and he isn't really. So he can hide a lot, and it's just getting to know that, and spending the time and realizing, oh, he's not really all these things that he's saying.
Yeah.
But yeah. It's kind of a terrible world.
Yeah.
I think everybody that's married needs to understand, like, I need to connect my single friends.
Yes.
I think that's what we'd want or love. I mean, if people in the church are not going to connect, I feel like the people that are connected and have single friends, it would be way worth it to introduce your single friends. Maybe they're not meant to be together, but having a community for them and being a safe space that like connects them.
Yeah.
I think it's huge. I mean, for me, I know the people that I know that are married or in relationship, they don't know what it is like to date this person, you know, like, so I'm not going to ever put that weight on them, but I do feel like there's something valuable to having single connections.
For sure.
Yeah.
Do you have any boundaries or like filters you run through when you on during the times that you are choosing to be on the dating apps?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I definitely have physical boundaries, and I have come to the point where my level of maturity has grown to, I'm not going to tell you, I want to find out who you are. So like, I'm going to ask somebody, okay, can you tell me what your physical boundaries are in a relationship so I know if we match?
That's such a good approach.
Yeah.
Because if you say yours first.
Oh yeah, me too. Always. But it's a different experience when you're in a presence with somebody too.
Wow, and that's something you probably really only learn over time.
Yeah.
Or having someone like you on a podcast and you're telling somebody,
Here's the
hey,
tips.
this is what you
Tips
should
and
do.
tricks. Yeah.
Wow. Is there anything else?
Or
is that really like just a solid one?
That is a solid one. It all depends on the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that is one that is going to work for everybody.
Do you do something similar like if you met somebody in person, say like, you know, you meet someone at the gym and you're on a date?
Well, I didn't with the last person I met. So that is why I learned that I need to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Learning from experience.
Yes.
Got you. Mm-hmm. Wow. How do you keep your heart open without lowering your standards? Because, and this might be a weird question, and I'm sure we'll talk about this more.
No, it makes sense.
But, well, because to me, I look at you and you're so fun. You're adventurous. You're smart. You're successful.
Thank you.
And there have been so many times where I have not understood why somebody hasn't snagged you up.
Yeah.
It just has never made sense to me. And I guess I have two questions that come from that statement, and is like, how do you handle, you know, because I'm sure you've asked yourself the same things.
Yes.
And for a long time,
yeah,
which is really hard. But then simultaneously, there could be that temptation to start lowering your standards and be like, well, you know what, God, you haven't sent anybody my way.
I think for me, the first part is like, how do I not start lowering my standards in what I'm looking for?
Yeah.
Because it takes a long time.
Yeah.
I have. It ebbs and flows. But at this point in my life now, I'm looking for my person.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, I've set my life up that, yeah, I can take care of myself. Yeah, I have great peace in my life. God is good. You know, I have to reflect on it in a way of, God has protected me from so much. Even though it's hard. Everybody has a different hard.
Yeah.
We all live a different season of what hard looks like for us. It's hard when I have people being like, I'm so surprised you're still single. Because that has its own like struggle of like, yeah, me too. Like, I
know, that's why I felt weird even saying it, but I also feel like other people can resonate with that question and ask those things about themselves.
Yes. And I feel like I've had people say it, and I guess I've had to shift the script to it of like, they're asking me this because they see value in me.
Yes.
And I am a treasure.
Yes.
And it's a blessing to know that like whoever my man is, wherever he's at, he's going to be blessed by the woman that I've become and developed into. And I'm just thankful for that.
Yeah.
And I know the Lord's done the same for him. He's going to be a good, godly man. And I can honor him.
That's so
in
good.
that. And I just feel like I've had to live my life in the way that I do want to honor him even before I know him.
That's beautiful.
So it's hard, but the hard doesn't outweigh the need for a confidence in it.
That's so good, Kelly. I could only assume there have been seasons that you ask, what's wrong with me? Mm-hmm. How did you get through those times?
It's only leaning in or making a mistake. I am very much a person that can observe and learn from other people. Like, I don't need to run the race of like going down the hill.
Yeah.
In a sense, like, not saying that I haven't. I have, like, things have gone bad for me, but I've been able to watch and observe relationships and be like, oh, like my heart breaks for them because of where they're at now, or just being able to reflect in what that would look like, or how choices made now affect the future. I just feel like I know the Lord has protected me. And that's all I can say. Like, I really, truly believe that the protection outweighs the fact that I just really want to live with my partner and do life together. And like, it's a yearning inside, but at the same time, there's a refining in everybody. Mm-hmm. And if he's not ready, he's not ready. I think the Lord's created me to be a prayer warrior too. Mm. So like, in my singleness, I have found myself to pray for other people more than myself, which I've tried to shift that and pray also for me and who my person is. I have prayed for my husband, whoever he may be, for years. And I feel like you might even remember that, like, back when you were even living with me, I was like, I have this prayer app and I have all these prayers for my future husband that I've been praying. And I just feel like I'm preparing myself in my heart, and I just know that, like, when the time's right, he'll be here.
Okay, so to transition a little bit, we're coming into the holiday season.
Yeah.
And again, it can get a little bit lonely for some people. And you've had probably many holidays where these feelings come up. So what emotions have come up for you when engagement season rolls around, or you see people getting married, or baby announcements, or things like that? I mean, maybe what have you maybe felt in the past, and then how do you approach it now?
Yeah. I think in the past it's upsetting, really. As a single person, it's like, though there's a caveat to that. I'm so excited for my friends. I'm so excited for my family, my people, like, I'm excited for them, but there is that little gut feeling of like, it's not my time. Like, I wish it was. Yeah. So I think previously it was definitely disappointing. It was like, when's it my turn? When do I get to experience this? Now it's less that. I mean, it's always been, I'm happy for my friends. I'm happy for whoever's getting engaged, whoever is having a baby, like, I love that for them, but I think there is always going to be a missing puzzle piece, right? Mm-hmm. Like, there just feels like something's missing from my life when everybody else is still building on theirs. But there's so much I can still do as a single person. I just feel like too many single people will hold off life, especially during moments like this where it's just a little hard.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is, we have to be community. We have to surround each other. And that is something that I've just found such great peace and thankfulness for, is having community in the single season. I've gotten involved with a group that is a bunch of Christian singles from all over the country.
A group that you started?
Well, no, not this one.
Okay.
I actually followed this one when I was starting my group here in Jacksonville.
Okay.
No, they're out of Charlotte, and it's called the Grown Ups Table. And it's shown me that there are people that just want to do life together. And when you're doing life together, singleness feels a little less heavy.
Yeah.
It's when you don't have anybody that you're surrounded with that it just feels empty.
Well, are there ways that you guard your heart when you're on social media during the holidays? And maybe you don't need to anymore. Maybe you're at a place where you feel like, you know what? I'm very confident in God's plan for my life, and I'm not as affected as I maybe have been in the past when I see certain posts. So what are some things that maybe you might do now or not? Things that maybe you used to have to do to protect your heart?
I think it's the focus has to shift. You can't be so caught up in I'm single, woe's me, life sucks. Because it doesn't. There's so much more to it. There's so much more to it.
Yeah.
And I think it's just redirecting your thoughts to like, there's so much more I can do. There's so much in this season. What am I going to do to live fully here? And I think a lot of times some people stay single for so long. I could be included because there's so much more to the singleness that needs to be lived out. I hope it's coming to an end, but
yeah,
you know, like I do. I'm thankful for it. And I don't know that I've always been thankful for it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt behind? And what do you do with that feeling, and how, what advice would you give?
Gosh, that's a big question, and I don't even know how to answer it, to be honest. I think it does come full circle to the, like, when you start feeling behind, it's like, well, but I've held off in doing so many things, thinking I wanted to do it with that person. I wanted to buy a house with somebody. I wanted to go on that vacation with somebody. I want to, like, there's a lot of, like, hold back in that. But there's definitely a lot of disappointment in it as well, of like, well, I want to have kids. I'm getting older. I hate to say that I always think of Sarah and Rebecca, right? They're the two that had babies much later in life. Unexpected. If God wants that for us, he'll do it. And he'll provide for it. Whatever that looks like. It might not look like the natural white picket fence and babies, but it might be fostering. It might be adopting. It might, like, I just don't know. But I know whatever it will be, it's going to be so fruitful. Like, and it's going to be wild beyond my imagination. It's going to be better, right?
Wow.
I mean, I have to think that way, right?
Yeah.
Because the reality is I can get so disappointed and like, wow, I did not get what I expected, and I didn't have the life that I really wanted. But God knows better. He really does. He knows so much better. So I have to sit in confidence in that, even though that, like, I know that emotion comes and goes of like, oh, I missed out.
Yeah.
But I don't think I really did.
Yeah.
My story hasn't finished yet. Like, I still have so much more left. So we'll see.
Because you had brought it up, when it comes to the children aspect and stuff like that. I love what you said. That you're even open to, it might not look the way that I thought. If it was possible, because people are still having babies in their 40s, would you want to try for your own, or have you kind of gotten to a point where you're like, no, I'm good. Like, I could do it I'll do it another way.
Answering that is like a little complicated, because for me, I want to trust the Lord, and I don't want to take away that option if he has it for me.
Right.
So I'm open to it, but I don't want to also put the pressure to it that it has to happen.
Right.
So I think for me, I'm in peace with it either way. Granted, I love children. So like, and I always expected to be able to be a mom and watch my kids in a sport, or like be able to be a part of raising the next generation, and like having a little human that was a part of me and my person, like, I just feel like it's such a sweet thing. I would never want to say never, but I also don't want to put pressure where it doesn't need to be.
I don't even have this written down, but it's just something I started thinking about because we were talking about social media and stuff, and not to go too far back into what we were already talking about earlier, but I was talking about more about the things that other people are putting on social media, but what are some things as a single woman that are some ways that you approach, how you present yourself on these apps?
Yeah.
And how you present yourself on social media in general as a single Christ following woman.
I think there's such a joy of living life fully. And that is what I get a comment about most than anything. Most than anything. That doesn't really make sense. But
more than anything?
More than anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
Does that answer the question? I don't know.
What's something you would tell the 20-year-olds?
Yeah.
And then the 30-year-olds
Yeah.
that are in the same season. So first, what would you tell the 20-year-olds?
I think they're going to be so driven to find somebody, but I think what they really need to be driven towards is finding themselves. Know who you are. Like, deepen your relationship with the Lord and your walk. Like, be confident as an individual before you become a couple.
What about the next age group up?
The 30-year-olds.
Because that advice still applies.
Absolutely.
But I feel like it does shift a little bit after that.
Yeah. I think it's the patience in it, and still give yourself grace to do the things that you think you want to hold off on until you're with somebody. Allow yourself to experience life fully and don't hold back because there's not another person there. Make and build your community. Like, have good people around you, because they are really what gives you a joy for life. And if they're godly people given by him, I mean, there's just going to be such fruit that comes from it.
And what about the person that's probably right around your age, but also finds themselves in a similar season?
I think it's still lean into the Lord and let him define what this season looks like. I think for everybody, it's going to look different. It's not all the same, but don't hold back from building community. And I know it's hard. I know I'm an extrovert. Not everybody is.
That is so true, though.
But find your safe people that you can just experience life with.
I know I probably have a lot of women that have listened to this podcast, but there's probably a handful of men too that are also in a similar boat that are like, I don't really know how to be, like, what do I do? Like, what would your advice to the Christian single man be who wants to pursue somebody, but they also haven't either? Again, maybe they're newly single again, and they don't really know how to approach, like, what do you want from these men?
Like, where's my man? No, I'm just kidding.
No, but like, what do you wish they were doing more?
I think
in the pursuit.
Yes. And I think you say, like, how do you enter into, like, how do you go to weddings alone? How do you go to all these things alone? You have to make fun for, like, not fun of it, but make it fun for yourself, whatever that looks like. For me, I started hiding ducks, like little bitty ducks. And I've done it around my friends' houses. I actually brought them this weekend and I totally forgot because I was so spaced. But like, it is just something that I'd like to do. And I like to think, I can't wait till they find this. And they're like, why is there a duck in my bag? Like, where did this come from?
Where did this duck come from?
But I can imagine going to a wedding and just like placing ducks and just doing something fun.
Yeah.
So it makes you have fun. But when you're having fun, you actually like are kind of more attractive.
So true.
Like when you're moping around and thinking life is terrible because I don't have somebody to walk hand in hand with, like you look like that.
Yeah.
But I think if you're having fun and enjoying what you do, it's just going to be more intriguing.
Yeah.
So like for these men that like I've asked a lot of men, and I wish you had a man on here to even talk to him about this, but like, hey, are you going to ask somebody at church if you find them to be interesting? Their answer is no, because they don't want to make the women uncomfortable.
Which I get.
I get it, but it's the safest place for us women to be asked.
So true.
You know, like a lot of this world is unsafe for us. And we have this like demeanor that we have to protect ourselves. And we are the protectors until somebody else comes into our lives to be that. So I think the men have to just put less pressure on it. Like, we are not looking for you to like talk to us and be like, oh, that's my husband. No, we're fine with like finding out if we actually like you or like the way you smell or like whatever, you know, like, we're all human beings. So like there's different likes and dislikes, but I think there has to be less pressure. Like, take the pressure away from it and have fun. Like, just enjoy getting to know somebody at a different level. Like, ask them what they do. Like, be conversational. I always say, like, vulnerability reproduces vulnerability. And I think that's the same in like conversation and building friendships, is you kind of have to break down the walls of like, I don't want to be weird. Like, sometimes you have to be weird, and maybe read body language. Sometimes that's really helpful.
Because you can tell when somebody does not want to be talked to you versus
when they're open.
When they're a little more approachable. Yeah.
Definitely.
How does that same concept apply to online dating? Is there something that a man who is serious in his walk with the Lord and is actually looking for a wife?
Yes.
Is there something that he can do when he's trying to have these conversations online? Like, because you talked about the things that you don't like, but like, what is something that you keep your eyes out for?
It's in the profile. So I think men assume women don't read profiles. I think it's because they don't as much. We do. We review the profile. And if you say something more about like your church or you love the Lord and like how you serve or things like that, when you're more vulnerable on your page, it makes us feel safer. Like, okay, he actually does know the Lord and he's not just looking for just anybody. So like when that importance is there, like when it's actually written down on a profile, I feel like I'm more likely to swipe right to be interested. And then we can get to know each other. You know, like, it's not going to work with everybody. Like, I'm not meant for every Christian man, but I'm meant for one for sure. So I think being open and taking the pressure, and I think we all put a pressure on it because like, oh, that's what I really want. But at the same time, if that pressure comes off, it like makes it a lot easier to like really get to know people in more of a genuine way and authentic.
What about with the roles reversed? Like, if you were to create an online dating profile right now, what would you put in your profile to communicate, I'm a Christian woman looking for something serious?
I think I hate to even think of putting another profile out there.
I know, because I know you had mentioned before this that you're not on them right now, and that's totally valid. But I know there's a lot of people that are.
Yes.
So what was your advice?
I think it's being authentic in that and kind of looking for something real. Because like, yes, you can skim over a profile, but if you see something that says like, I am a devoted Jesus follower, and I like maybe don't give too much information, but just enough where the conversation can come out of the first couple interactions. I feel like that's, as women, what we need to do. We need to be more open, and we also need to not ghost, because I know a lot of us ghost too because it's just easier, but it can be like, hey, I just don't feel this. And that's fine. I just feel like too many people take the ghosting to a whole nother level. And it's like, having a conversation is way better.
Well, and it's just kind of like, it's really not that hard to be courteous. Yeah. And even if the experience has not been great, just to say, hey, I'm so sorry, but I don't think I'm interested. You probably don't really owe them much past that. Yeah. And then leave. But at least you sent them a message saying, like, here's the closure. Yeah. But I'm not feeling this. Or I am talking to somebody else.
I have a paragraph I used to just send, just because the reality is, like, I don't want anybody to be like, oh, did she die? Like, what happened to her? Mm-hmm. Like,
well, and you do get, once you kind of start talking to somebody, not that I know this from experience from an online dating app, but I would assume that you are starting to build some sort of emotional connection. Yeah. And so when it's suddenly ripped away, that can be hard. Yeah. Even if it's for 24 hours, you feel a sting. It's still courteous. And you know, if you can protect some people from just being hurt over and over and over and over again, if that's in your power,
yeah,
do it. And
treat people as you want to be treated, right?
It's probably exhausting at some point, because I'm sure you probably have a million of these conversations, but like that is probably one of those things that's an easy way to set yourself apart, is be like, this didn't work out, but I think it's worth going that extra mile just to make them feel loved on the way out.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's being that vulnerable of like what you're looking for. Don't fake somebody out. Don't become somebody different than who you actually are because of what they're saying. Like, be you, be authentic. Give them your authentic self, because that's what we're looking for. You are not going to be able to hold on to that for very long if that's not truly you.
How can friends or the church better support singles? And I know that's a tough question, because I don't love just grouping the church into, I don't even know what the word I'm looking for. Like, it's like a blanket statement. Like, there's a million things I'm sure we could all wish the church was doing. But if there was something practical over time that you've kind of seen amiss, that you're like, this actually would be super helpful as somebody who's been single for a long time, you know, maybe what would that be from the church? And then how can friends better support their single friends?
Yeah. I've thought about the church thing a lot, and honestly, it's just practically recognizing us. I know it's a really dangerous road to go down, because a lot can come from a ton of singles in the church.
Yeah.
But I've always said, like, at our church, it's a large church. I'm like, they need to just do like a weekend get together for single people and have a Bible study, or like somebody talking, and like everybody's at little tables. So like you get to know people, and like you can bounce around and like talk to different people. Think about it. Like, back in our early 20s and late teens, we went to college and we were with all these people, and a lot of people found their person. I mean, if we're trying to foster people to be able to find another person that they're interested in, or find a group of people that they can be a part of, I think they have to open themselves up to doing something scary.
What do you think the hang up is?
It's scary, and it's dangerous. Like, it's not dangerous.
Like, you can see the potential areas where you're like, I can see why this might not be a good idea.
Yeah, because wolves.
Yeah.
Truly.
Oh, yeah, you can get like somebody who has just bad intentions showing up to this thing.
But I think more than anything, us women, we need the men to step up to be manly and like protectors when they see those awkward situations happening. I've had some weird like experiences where I felt like, okay, they're getting in my bubble, but nobody's nobody's stepping in. And I need somebody to step in to like help me get out of this uncomfortable situation. I think we need the men to be more conscious of that. But also, we need to make a safe space for everybody to meet.
And what about just friends in general? How can we support our single friends?
Yeah. I think just not seeing us any different. Still spending time, still being present together, but also knowing, like, if you meet a single man and you're like, oh, he's kind of cool, I will go out on a blind date. Like, sure. So I think as a single woman, that's what I would have wanted from my friends.
Yeah.
Or like provide a safe space for us to meet new people that's not awkward, and check in on them.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people struggle, and granted, I feel like I have a lot of connections, so I don't feel this, but I know people do, is like during the holidays, if they're alone, that feels extra lonely.
Invite them.
Yeah. Even though if it's weird, like it's just our family, don't even say that. Just be like, come over. Like, just be a part of our family.
All right. My final question for you today is, what does it mean to you to be an upside down influencer?
I think it just means that I am going to look different. I mean, I could be doing a handstand upside down and be an influencer too, but I think I'm going to look different to the world, right? Yeah. Like, we want to put a different presence out there as to a faith-filled human being that like just wants to share Jesus with the world. it's everything I do it with wholeness and like grace and mercy, and put all the spiritual gifts out there for people to experience.
Yeah.
When they may not, through other people.
That's so good.
When everything else is kind of messy. Just be a place of peace.
Where can people connect with you if they want to? Because you do have your own podcast.
I do.
Where can people find that?
What's
it called?
My podcast is shifting, so it's newer, but it's called The Morning Pour. You can find me on Instagram, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
And if people wanted to follow like your personal,
yeah,
what one would you rather people
real
follow?
Estate.
Your real estate,
yeah. That's more of my public.
Yeah, follow her business.
Yes, I'm Kelly Sax Sells Jacks. Kelly Sax Sells Jacks. The Morning Pour. I'm all over the place.
Well, this has been so much fun, and you just brought so much wisdom, and I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate to the things you say, but just also just heed your wisdom.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's sweet.
You really have just a powerful story to tell, and I'm just excited to see what God is going to continue to do in your life. And for the record, you are going to be an amazing wife.
Thank you.
And mother.
Thank you.
I really believe that for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for listening. To follow along with us and to hear about other things that we're doing, you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube.